All right, first things first, go grab your journals. All right. On the top of your journal, can you please write lesson 22? Lesson 22. Okay. Today what we're going to talk about is if you have a fraction. Let's pretend you have the fraction 2/3. And you remember that the whole, this tells us how many pieces the whole is divided into. So if we have 2/3, the whole is divided into 3 parts. This number is called the denominator. Denominator. Can you write that down? Denominator. The top number is called the numerator. Can you write down numerator? Okay, what's the top number called? Numerator. What's the bottom number called? Denominator. Okay, so numerator and denominator. How I remembered this when I was a kid. Denominator. I don't know, that just sounds like a big monster number. Denominator. So that's on the bottom. Kind of a funny way, but that's how I remembered it. Another way to remember it is the D. You could think of like down. D, down. So that's on the bottom. And then the numerator is on the top. So there's some fun ways, okay? So, which number's on the bottom? Denominator. Which number's on the top? Numerator. Okay, we're going to do some really fun things today. What we're going to do, first of all, first part I just want you to watch, okay? I have these rubber bands here. Look at these rubber bands I have. How many do I have altogether? These are my whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 rubber bands. That is my whole. That is how many rubber bands I have. Okay? I have 5 rubber bands. So if I'm going to make a fraction out of this, 5 is going to be my bottom number. So can you write down 5 in your journal with a line over it? That's our denominator. Okay? Now, how many of my rubber bands are blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 rubber bands. That's my whole. How many are blue? 1, 2. So 2/5 of my rubber bands are blue. Okay? Now let's look at our rubber bands again. How many are yellow? 2. So can you write down 2/5 are yellow? My numerator is 2, my denominator is 5. Now let's look at our rubber bands. How many are red? 1. 1/5 of my rubber bands are red. 1 of 5, right? My numerator is 1, my denominator is 5. Okay, let's watch this one now. I have these 2 whiteboards. So what is my whole? What is my denominator? How many do I have? How many whiteboards do I have? 2. So my denominator is 2. Can you write down 2 for your denominator? Okay, now look at my whiteboards. How many of my whiteboards have a rubber band tied around the handle? 1, right? So 1/2 of my whiteboards have a rubber band tied around them, right? Okay, here's what I need you to do. If you need to open to a new page, go ahead and open to a new page. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go over and see where the math stuff is on those shelves, where your binders are, where all the supplies are for wild math. Okay? What I need you to do is I need you to go count how many cubbies there are. How many spots are there to put stuff in? And I want you to write it down and then come back. Okay, did you do that? Is that going to be your numerator or your denominator? Your denominator, right? Because that's how many, that's the whole. Now what I need you to do is I need you to go count how many of those cubbies have binders in them. Like your math binder. Go count how many there are and put that as your numerator and then come back. Okay, did you do it? So do you have a fraction? Of your numerator is how many cubbies have binders, and your denominator is how many total cubbies there are. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to go quietly count how many kids are at school today. Okay, pause me and go do that. Did you count? How many kids were at school today? Is that going to be your numerator or your denominator? Your denominator, right? Because that's how many kids there are. So do you have a number written down as how many kids there are today? I know there's 18 in your class, but I don't know if all 18 are there today. So if all 18 are there, then you should have 18. If not, your number might be less than mine because I don't know how many kids are there today. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a fraction of how many boys there are. Can you go count how many boys there are? Pause me and go count. How many boys are there today? I'm going to guess there's 9, but I could be wrong. How many boys are at school today? Okay, above your boys fraction, write the word boys. Now I want you to find the girls fraction. Okay, so the denominator is how many kids are there today. I'm guessing 18, but I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. And now I want you to go see how many girls are there. Pause me and go see. How many girls are there today? Is there I'm going to guess about 7. Am I close? I don't know for sure. Is there about 7 or more? Okay, so these are your numerator and denominator. Can you point to the numerator of boys? Now can you point to the denominator of boys? Can you point to the numerator of girls? Now the denominator of girls. Okay, that's all the lesson is for today. Good job.